We've had a short hiatus with a 2-week break at Easter and then a couple of really busy weeks back in Columbia since. But we're now back giving you your updates, and this past week was an extremely busy week with us trying to make crossover date. Crossover date simply means that we have a deadline to get bills to the Senate or from the Senate to the House in order for them to have a chance of passing. May 1st is that deadline date. So we dealt with a lot of House bills trying to get them across. We dealt with a plethora of tax bills on income tax, sales tax exemptions, and a variety of other things. I voted against the sales tax exemptions bill because it had been pared down so much, and basically it was piecemeal. If we're going to deal with the taxation issue or changes in the taxing structure of this state, it does not need to be done piecemeal. My opinion is Act 388 is a prime example of that, and we do need to address the taxation issue and some issues within the system, but we do not need to do it piecemeal. The Tract Commission made some good recommendations back to us, and we need to adhere to some of those. The second thing that we have was the school bus privatization bill. That was debated yesterday, and it passed, but it was simply a study committee. It was not a privatization bill as was originally intended. No probability to it. I wouldn't have voted for the school bus privatization bill in its original form because there were too many unanswered questions for me. One is it going to be an unfunded mandate with a dilapidated bus system given back to the local school districts, or are we going to bring it up to speed before we give it back to local school districts? If we were going that route, or if we're going absolute privatization, who's going to have control of it and who's going to have disciplinary control of the children when they're on the buses? There were just a lot of issues that were unanswered in that, plus the maintenance of that system. Now, there are some good aspects to certain parts of privatization. There are some that don't particularly like, but this study committee would have the ability to bring back to us some recommendations and give us the time to take a slow look at it and not make a stab and a knee-jerk reaction into something. The last thing that I've had is back to us from the Senate with Senate amendments, and that's the DOA bill. It's not yet dead on arrival, but we're talking about the Department of Administration bill. It had gone from the House to the Senate. Senate debated it for several days and made huge changes to it. And in my personal estimation, they grew government in several ways with what they did with the Department of Administration bill. And I've gotten some feedback on one thing they did in particular was combining the combination of the lieutenant governor running on the same ticket by putting it off until 2018 before it actually goes into effect. And that was not the intent of the bill. Bottom line is, I don't know that the Senate and House can come together through compromise to reach a point that we can pass a bill, because we were so far apart on the approach to the bill at this point. I hope we can, and I hope we can get a much leaner and smoother administration in place, but don't know that that's going to happen. Certainly don't know that it's going to happen in the course of this year with only 6 weeks left in the session.